and what belonged to Territon 33.
Hi and welcome along everyone to today's plumbing video. This one is something I think that a lot of you have had trouble with over the years, I'm sure who hasn't, and that is when you get an airlock in the pipes. Find the hot water is barely running out of the tap whatsoever, it's just next to nothing. So to clear it, the most easiest way of doing it was if you have two separate taps and not a mixer, because you could then use something like this, which is a short piece of hose with two attachments to go on taps screwed on, got anywhere from a hardware shop, and you just put this on the cold one, that on the hot one, turned on both the taps, and you could hear the water rush up the pipe and blast the air out. Within 30 seconds you pull them off and you're all back to normal, water's running fine. What about if you find that you've got a mixer tap downstairs but you've got a separate hot and cold up in the wash basin? Well, this idea would still be okay as long as your cold in the basin upstairs is off the mains. If it's fed from the tank, like your hot water, if it's an F&E system, obviously which it would be to get an airlock in the first place, then you'll find that that will not be of any use. You'll find the pressure will be not enough to push up the other. The cold and hot are the same static pressure, so this would no longer be of any use. So what else can we try? A lot of people that have all got mixer taps, the kitchen sink, the bath, the basin, mixer taps in every one. So first thing to try, which can work and it often does work, is simply to do this. So follow me, and that is to get your tap, turn it on and put your thumb over the end. Once you put your thumb over the end, if you're lucky enough, it will force the water back up the hot and blow it out. Take your thumb off and let it go. I can't do it on this particular one because it's, it's one of those. So this one I can't actually do that with, but I'm just showing you that's the type of thing you do. You put your thumb over there, open the cold one and hot together so they're both on the same amount and force it up the hot one. Now there's a couple of reasons why that may not work. One, a lot of taps won't allow that to happen. They won't allow a backfill. There's kind of a non-return built in there. And the other reason is you may have a non-return valve actually in the pipe. I'll show you on this diagram what I mean. Here we say is our wash basin, and you put your thumb over there, over the end of the spout, turn them on to mix evenly, of course. So you're trying to force cold water down the hot. So it goes up there, your thumb's over there, it goes back down the hot, but when it gets to here, what do we find? A non-return valve has been fitted. If that's on there, I'm afraid nothing will go anywhere. In fact, the pressure will be so great, your thumb will blow off the end of the spout, and you're absolutely kind of snookered in that instance. So that is a bit of a unfortunate thing when you got that, although it's a good thing because it's to stop water mixing and all that, but when you've got one of those, I'm afraid that is not going to work. So this gets a little bit complicated now. So what else can we do? So the first thing is to go downstairs again and have a look, if you are doing it in the kitchen, and see if there's a non-return valve on the supply pipe. Like I showed you, there will be one on the pipe going up. If there's not, then you can do this system. And the same if it's the other way around. If you tried doing this on the kitchen sink to blow it through and you've got a non-return valve, have a look upstairs on the wash basin, because there may not be one up there. Now, if there are and they're both fitted, the only alternative is to kind of whip those out and put a straight coupling in its place. Here we are out in the garden looking at the garden tap. Yes, what am I doing out here? Well, this is another idea for clearing an airlock. This one is simply, you take the tap off, this thing, the gun, whatever you've got on the end, okay, and put one of those airlock attachments that's on that hose on the end. Okay, once that's on there, we can then fit it onto one of our taps inside the kitchen there, or up on the bathroom basin. And all you've got to do then is you open up the tap up the top there for the hot supply, so it's open. Get someone down below here to open that tap and blast away so it goes upstairs or into your kitchen, whichever one you're using, the basin or the sink, and let the cold mains pressure belt into the tap. That's hopefully, as long as you haven't got obviously a non-return valve type tap or a non-return valve in the leg of pipe that goes away from the hot tap. Now, a very, very last resort I've had to rely to do at one stage when I had a really bad airlock, couldn't get it out, is to literally undo one of the service pipes, obviously turn the water off, but cut the pipe on the hot, take it off and stick a valve on there. And once you've done that, you can stick your hose on the end of it with a bit of pipe and then blast the water up, but turn the valve on. I'll show you what I mean with a bit of a drawing. Now this is a make or break scenario if you really are desperate. You should have a little valve, one of those little half-turn valves with a little handle on it, or even a screw type one. They're called isolation valves. They're not very good, but you don't have to leave it in. But what the idea is, cut the pipe through here, cut a bit out of the pipe right there and fit this valve on. Now pull it away from this pipe, stick a little bit of copper tube in the top there, and then attach the outside hose pipe onto that piece of tube. Okay, then you open that valve up. There won't be nothing there because you've got an airlock. But then you open that hose tap outside and force water up the hot feed. That will go up into the cylinder and clear the airlock. Now once it's clear, you can check with the taps elsewhere, the kitchen sink or the basin upstairs, whichever one you're not working on. When it's through, all you've got to do then is turn this tap back off, take the hose off and reconnect the supply back into that connector. And the beauty is then you've got a little valve on there as well. You can turn it on and the supply will be reinstated to the tap. And that's the only hard way out of it when it's a desperate situation. But do try all the other things I've told you to try first. So there you are. I'm sure you may have other ways of clearing these because there's lots of plumbers out there I know watch this channel, so you can give me yours. I know there is some kind of pressure thing you can use as well, a pressure type gun to try and clear it as well. But this is trying to do it a simple way without any hard and fast tools that are needed special. So hopefully that's helped you a little bit, and I'll just leave it to my sponsor to say our farewells.
For our videos, Derriton 33. Thanks for watching.